I was born in San Francisco in May of 1942, and then when I was seven, I was playing at the Nystrom School in the water. It had been raining, and the yard was completely flooded. Some kids had a raft on one part of the water, and either that day or the next day, I came down with chills at the babysitter after school. And the babysitter put me to bed, and she put every blanket she had in the house on me, everything she could find, and she couldn't get me warm. So she called Mother home, and I was taken to Dr. Gadwood's office on McDonald in Richmond, and he diagnosed the polio. And Mother said that she would take me right home and she'd get my clothes together to go to the hospital. And he said, well, you're not taking her anywhere. He says, straight to isolation hospital. You know, this is polio. So when I went into the isolation hospital, I had a stuffed squirrel with me. I guess Mother had brought it from the babysitters up to Dr. Gadwood's and from there to the hospital. And we got into reception, and the nurse said, she can't take that in with her, and we're going to have to destroy it now. And of course, you know, even in this fever, I mean, I was just destroyed. And she says, all right. She says, we'll put it in the disinfectant thing, but your squirrel isn't going to look the same when you get it back. And of course, when the squirrel came back, it did not look like my squirrel. My mother always said I was there for a year, but I recently interviewed one of the nurses that was there when I was, and she says that no one was there for a year, but they could be there for 7 or 8 months. So I must have been there the maximum time. And I asked if we ever went out and played in a play yard. I mean, I couldn't remember ever going out and playing in a play yard. And so I asked about that, and she said they didn't have one. So I don't know what the situation was, but if you can imagine children just in a room for months. We you know, after you came out of the initial illness, we were pretty rambunctious. And I think that is a trait of polio's, is that you're just determined that nothing is going to hold you down. And I do remember, although it zigzagged down my body, so it affected one side of my face, the arm on the other side, and my leg on the other side. I do remember climbing up out of the cribbed bed and getting out of that bed, or climbing up on something or whatever. So they had their hands full with us. Right after I got back home, we went for an appointment to Dr. Gadwood. He's a very well-known doctor in the city of Richmond in those years. He died just recently. And he told Mother to get me into ballet classes right away. He says, don't wait. He says, go and find somebody. And we had Matilda Myers in the city of Richmond. So I did. I started ballet, and I think I was going once a week. And of course, it was hard for Mom because she, you know, was trying to make ends meet. And I fell in love with it so that I would come home after school while she was at work, and I would practice and practice and practice, which was really lucky because it was all that physical therapy. And I was weak on one side in the ballet. I could do, I don't remember if you call it tours jetés or what they are, but you go spinning down the room. I could go to one side perfectly, and to the other side I didn't, so I wouldn't practice that side. And the dance teacher would fuss at me about that and say, no, you've got to build your strength on the other side. You've got to make yourself go that way, even though you do it so well the other way, you know. So it was kind of a lopsided dancer, I guess. It seems like there's a tendency in polio's to always push themselves very, very hard, and really probably to do too much.
Was that true of you?
Oh yes. I did everything hard. I worked on that ballet. I'd run over to the grocery store. We were on the second floor in Richmond, and Nystrom's school was just across the street, but also was Nystrom's grocery, and I'd fly down those stairs. Fly. I don't even know if my feet touch the ground when I get over to the front door of the grocery store. Why did I have to run? I always did that. And in everything I've done through the years, it's been that mentality to just go as far as you can. And it's not an excellence thing. It's just I think once you knew that you were restrained by something, and in this case polio, that you were just going to push forward no matter what. And that's what I would say to parents that, for whatever their reasons are, don't want to do this with their children. They can't know what it is to have an illness like that. And you can't turn it around. You can't make it go away once it takes hold of you.